Primary Communications Incorporated with even a welcome to King's News Room 45 minutes news about Liberia, Africa, and our one world. Today is Wednesday, May 28, 2025, and I'm Shemo Dia presenting. In the headlines, Liberia's dialysis center at GFK Memorial Hospital experiencing brain and possible collapse due to damaged equipment. As patients accuse the management of collecting money without administering treatment. Vice President Jeremiah Cohn says government is committed to protecting all opposition politicians and uphold free speech. It shows from encounters Senator Evans influences and his spending of a guaranteed security. And as in the news tonight, Ministry of Health announces discharge of four Mpox patients following intensive treatment at National Infectious Disease Center in Monrovia. Away from home, Elon Musk has criticized one of the signature policies of Donald Trump, marking a break from the U.S. president who he helped to win re-election in 2024. Thousands of Palestinians have overrun an aid distribution site in Gaza, set up by a controversial U.S. and Israeli-backed group a day after it began working there. These plus the news bulletin, voices of those making the news at our package, but we'll take a short break to be right back. Welcome back at this juncture. We join Sam Andrews with the news bulletin.
Liberia's once most celebrated dialysis center at John F. Kennedy Memorial Hospital is at a stage of total abandonment due to lack of support and maintenance of equipment, leaving patients at a dying point. The management of the dialysis unit, once advertised as a breakthrough for Liberia's healthcare system, is facing a serious allegation of poor maintenance and lack of accountability, and as several patients have claimed paying for treatment without receiving it. The dialysis unit, constructed under the administration of former President George Weah, is far from saving lives due to shortage of equipment, medication, and functioning dialysis machines. Ben Meza, 35, and Surprise Kopi, 27, both of whom are suffering kidney damage, told Kings FM that after paying several United States dollars for their treatment, they are yet to be treated due to what the management call no materials for treatment, adding that they are being compelled to return home without their monies being refunded. Following an independent investigation conducted by King's News, the damage of equipment at the dialysis unit at JFK Medical Center is serious. However, despite efforts made to speak to the center's management, is yet to respond, as everyone contacted declined to comment on the allegations made by the patients. The collapse of the JFK Dialysis Center symbolizes a larger crisis within Liberia's health sector, including being underfunded, under-equipped, and increasingly inaccessible to the very people it is supposed to serve. Following bombing County, Senator Edwin Snow's expressed fear for his life, Vice President Jeremiah Cohn has assured of government's protection. VP Cohn, in his voice of assurance posted on his Facebook page Wednesday, noted under the Boakai Cohn administration, all opposition politicians will be fully protected and allowed to speak freely. He added, although the government is prepared to uphold free speech, everybody is expected to speak in the confines of the law and protect the peace. According to the Vice President, President Boakai has asked him to inform Senator Edwin Snow that his security is guaranteed, including his family. During a press conference Tuesday, the head of Liberia's delegation to ECOWAS Parliament, accused the government of state endorsed threat on his life and that of his family. Prior to Snow's allegation, the Ministry of Information, in a publication made on Saturday, said the Bombing County senator was planning to use his connection at ECOWAS to undermine and destabilize the government to enable him become president. The Ministry of Information publication has since raised serious concern, resulting to Edwin Snow saying members of the Senate to summon the Information Minister, Jeremy Pierre, to provide evidence to claims made in the publication, something yet to be done. The Ministry of Health has announced the discharge of 4 mpox patients who have recovered following treatment at the National Infectious Disease Center in Monrovia. The patients, according to a statement issued by the ministry Wednesday, were released after completing all prescribed treatment and isolation protocols. According to the MOE statement, all of the patients signify a hopeful development in Liberia's hope to control the spread of mpox virus, particularly in urban centers of Mosurado County. The Ministry of Health has disclosed that it has activated health facility case management at the National Infectious Disease Center to address the rise in mpox cases. The ministry added that the facility case will also provide integrated medical, psychosocial, and nutritional support for mpox patients. Bombing County Senator and Chairman of the Western Region Legislative Caucus, Alex Tyler, has filed a formal communication before the plenary of the Liberian Senate against Western Cluster Liberia Limited. Senator Tyler, in his communication, accused the Western Cluster Liberia Limited of grossly violating the mineral development agreement signed between the company and the government of Liberia. According to him, the company has engaged in activities that do not only undermine the terms of the agreement, but also disregard the welfare of citizens residing in the affected counties, including Bombing, Grand Cape-Man, and Gbakpolu. The chairman of the Western Region Legislative Caucus, True, argued that Western Cluster is operating contrary to its contractual obligations, adding that the company has failed to make social development and community payments allegedly owed residents of its operational areas, despite numerous engagements. Meanwhile, following Senator Tyler's communication, the Senate plenary urged its relevant committee to conduct a comprehensive investigation into the operations of Western Cluster Liberia and make available recommendations within 2 weeks. The Ministry of National Defense, through the Department of Gender and Social Inclusion in collaboration with Health Services Department, Wednesday celebrated World Menstrual Hygiene Day with students of Grade D Allison High School in Central Monrovia. This year's Menstrual Hygiene Day has been observed under the theme Together for a Period-Friendly World. The celebration provided a safe and engaging space for students to share their diverse experience relative to menstrual personal safety and hygiene. Delivering the keynote address, Kandra Roberts Kadia, Director of Health, emphasized the importance of maintaining safe hygiene processes, assessing quality menstrual products, and collectively breaking the stigma around menstruation. She encouraged the female students to prioritize their health during the period and called on male students to offer empathy and support to their female peers. Also speaking at the event, the Director of Gender and Social Inclusion expressed gratitude to the administration of Grady Allison High School for their collaboration. She highlighted the significance of menstruation awareness, educating youth, and celebrating such day to foster openness, respect, and empowerment amongst young people. World Menstrual Hygiene Day is celebrated every year on May 28th to raise global awareness and promote action around the challenges men and women and girls face in managing their menstruation with dignity. The Secretary General of the National Patriotic Party of Liberia, Andrew Peters, has officially distanced the party from recent statements made by the party's national chairman, Josh Molubai, and Boston Dennett in support of Senator Edwin Melvin Snow. Speaking Wednesday, Peters emphasized that the views expressed by Molubai and Dennis do not represent the official position of the National Patriotic Party of Liberia in the ongoing debate between Senator Edwin Snow and the Liberian government. He called on both officials to publicly retract their statements, particularly those suggesting financial influence in support of Senator Snow. Andrew Peters clarified that the party has never convened to deliberate on any matter involving Senator Snow and the Liberian government. He further urged party members to avoid being influenced by personal opinion of individual officials, but to remain united and committed to the core principle and values of the National Patriotic Party of Liberia. Suspect Peach Bility, son of Nima County District 7 Representative Musa Bility, requests to avoid criminal prosecution at criminal court at the criminal court remains uncertain. This follows the end of Judge Joe Bargon's 24-hour ultimatum, and both defense and state lawyers were yet to reach an agreement regarding suspect Peach Bility's application of litigation at Criminal Court C. Judge Joe Bacon, according to our judicial correspondent, is reportedly frustrated by the defense and state lawyers' failure to reach a no litigation settlement since May 19. Our judicial correspondent further said defense and state lawyers' failure has compelled Judge Joe Bacon to instruct his clerk to assign the matter for June 2nd if they refuse to reach a plea bargaining agreement on or before June 2nd. Suspect Peach Bility's legal team is seeking for a plea bargaining agreement with the state to avoid prosecution after state lawyers confronted him with his pieces of evidence. Prosecuting lawyers have admitted to Councillor Johnny Momo's claim that his ex-lover, Mary Nolan's indictment contained the same averment of her previous action at Broom Magisterial Court, which was dismissed by the court with prejudice to the state. Madam Nolan's lawyer, Councillor Wilkins Wright, told the court that though the averments are the same, but the charges are different. Councillor Wright argued that his client's previous action, which was dismissed with prejudice to the state, bordered on domestic violence and disorderly conduct, while the indictment charges range from theft of property, burglary, and criminal conspiracy, adding that such application cannot squash his client's indictment. But Councillor Johnny Momo has rejected Councillor Wright's claims, saying that Madam Nolan entered a nolle prosequi on March 9, 2024, before Broom Magisterial Court with a legal provision to the court not to return, consistent with Chapter 18, Section 18.1 of the Criminal Procedure Law of Liberia. Saninkwale City Magisterial Court has reprimanded a 45-year-old identified as Augustine Gay to Saninkwale Central Prison for alleged murder of a Burkinabe national, Badu Abuli. The incident reportedly occurred on May 14 in Dowulu Bliss Forest, located in Kabli District, Lower Nimba County. According to eyewitness account, Aboli was preparing food for his fellow laborers when he was allegedly shot and killed by Gay, who is accused of using a single-barrel firearm. Residents of Old Yopie claim that Gay had gone hunting with a firearm on the day of the incident but returned without it. Although Gay has since denied any involvement and stated he no longer possessed a gun, police investigation uncovered inconsistencies in his account. Authorities also noted that there were prior tensions between Gay and group of Burkinabe workers. Following the investigation, the suspect was formally charged with murder and appeared before the court on Wednesday, where he was ordered detained at Saninquele Central Prison pending further legal proceedings. On Tuesday, Liberia officially announced the closure of its campaign for the non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council for 2026-2027 term. Speaking during the ceremony, the Senate Chair on Foreign Affairs, Senator Ibrahim Dillon, described the movement as a call for national unity. He emphasized that the election of Liberia on the United Nations Security Council will further strengthen the country's fight for the advocacy of peace and democracy. He also highlighted the importance of Liberia's candidacy for a non-permanent seat. Has appealed to Burundi to support Liberia's candidacy for a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council. During a meeting held on Tuesday with Burundi's President Evariste Ndayishimiye, Senator Finlay emphasized Liberia's willingness to initiate and expand diplomatic engagement with the Republic of Burundi. He also highlighted potential areas for bilateral cooperation in economic, technical, and trade sectors and extended an invitation for Burundi investment in Liberia. And the Liberian Senate Post and Telecommunications Committee has commenced an investigative public hearings into allegations and regulatory concerns regarding Lone Star Cell MTN mobile money. The allegation stems from President Joseph Boakar's recent claims of the government being denied its share of 20%. According to the committee, the hearing, which took place Wednesday, seeks to hear testimonies from affected Liberian stakeholders, receive official report and updates from relevant regulatory institutions, engage Lone Star Cell NTN on compliance, governance practices, and response to these allegations. Furthermore, the committee said Thursday's hearing will gather perspectives from legal and civil society organizations, as well as identify any legislative or regulatory gaps that may require Senate intervention. According to a Senate release, expected participants include representatives of the Liberian shareholders, Lone Star Cell MTN Mobile Money Incorporated, Central Bank of Liberia, the Liberia Telecommunication Authority, as well as the Financial Intelligence Agency, the Ministry of Justice, Liberia Business Association, and the Liberia Chamber of Commerce.
Sam Andrews with the news bulletin. The news bulletin is a regular feature on King's Newsroom. A reminder you listen to King's Newsroom 45 minutes news about Liberia, Africa, and our own world. Stories we're following tonight: Liberia's Unedialysis Center at JFK Medical Hospital stands in rain and possible collapse due to damaged equipment as patients accuse the management of collecting money without administering treatment. Vice President Jeremiah Cohn says government is committed to protecting all opposition politicians and uphold free speech, assures Bombing County Senator Edwin Snow and his family of a guaranteed security. Ministry of Health announces discharge of four mpox patients following intensive treatment at National Infectious Disease Center in Monrovia. Away from home, Elon Musk has criticized one of the signature policies of Donald Trump, marking a break from the U.S. president who he helped to win re-election in 2024. Thousands of Palestinians have overrun an aid distribution site in Gaza, set up by a controversial U.S. and Israeli Ba'ath group a day after it began working there. We'll take a break to be back with voices. Welcome back and thanks for being there. Liberia's once most celebrated dialysis center at the John F. Kennedy Memorial Hospital is at a stage of total abandonment due to lack of support and maintenance of equipment, leaving patients at a dying point. Management of the dialysis unit, once advertised as a breakthrough for Liberia's healthcare system, is facing serious allegations of poor maintenance and lack of accountability, as several patients have claimed paying for treatment without receiving aid. The dialysis center, constructed under the administration of former President George Weah, is far from saving lives due to shortages of equipment, medication, and functioning dialysis machines. Bill Mason, age 35, and Surprise Coopert, age 37, both of whom are suffering kidney damage, told Kings FM that after paying several United States dollars for their treatment, they are yet to be treated due to what management called no material for treatment, adding that they had been compelled to return home without their monies being refunded.
My name is Bill Mason, one of the dialysis patients from GFK Hospital. I've been taking treatment at the dialysis center for over 5 months. The fees we are paying is very costly. It's not easy. We are struggling. $95 per session. The small we are scheduled 3 times a week for me. I can go for the treatment 3 times in a week. So I'm paying the 95 times 3. And then the two injection we are taking is about $25 for two. So the 25 times 3 days is about 75 plus the 200 plus so I paid $360 every week for the treatment. It is not easy. We can lobby, we can beg people to help. And then after paying this money, the nurses will come and tell us there's no material. And they report from the CEO office that there's no material, we should go home. After paying the money, take the receipt from us and tell us to go home. There's no material. It's not the first time, it's not second time. And for every time the place run out of material, we can break down. When we break down to recover, it's not easy. This how small friends are losing their life. We are struggling. So we came to the media to please help and call the government attention to intervene. We are dying. We are struggling. We are young people that have families to cater to. It's not easy. So the government had to please come in. Bend to the CEO of a serious one. The CEO is one that that her name, that Linda A. Brett from GFK. Yes, we been to her office serious one, but nothing, no change. There's no change. For every time we go, sometimes she will hire herself from us. We will not see her. Sometimes she will only come and talk to her for a minute and go about her business. So we are struggling. We are suffering. The money is not easy, but we can still try hard and ask people for help. Pay it. The SARS are placed in GFK, nowhere else. 35 years old.
We take treatment at GFK hospital. So we came online to ask the government to please come to our help. Because we're really dying to GFK. Pay $95 every 3 days in a week. When we pay this money, they send anyone who will only receive. They'll tell no material and not first and second and third. And we're dying. So I don't have money, but we can come online, we beg people for help. And we get the money to go for the treatment and I will leave it back. And they'll tell us no material. And the machine we using have a end and break down. So we're begging the government and representatives to come to our help. We dying, to our patients are just if I tell you 1 week now, we take treatment. You see I'm getting swollen, you see my stomach. We don't sleep in the night. We sit in chair and then they break on us.
For an independent investigation conducted by Kings FM, it can be confirmed that the damaged equipment at the dialysis unit at the John F. Kennedy Memorial Hospital. However, efforts made to speak to the management at the center has proven faulty. The Ministry of National Defense, through the Department of Gender and Social Inclusion in collaboration with Health Services Department, Wednesday celebrated World Menstrual Hygiene Day with students of Grady Allison High School in Central Monrovia. This year's Menstrual Hygiene Day has been observed on the team together for a period freeing the world. Delivering the keynote address, Kadra Rabos Gadi, Director of Health, emphasized the importance of maintaining safe hygiene practices, assessing quality menstrual products, and collectively breaking the stigma around menstruation. We sincerely apologize. We will bring you that excerpt in our subsequent newscast. The Secretary General of the National Patriotic Party, Andrew Peters, has officially distanced the party from recent statements made by the party national chairman, George Mobile, and Barton Dennis in support of Senator Edwin Snow. Speaking Wednesday, Peters emphasized that the views expressed by Mobile and Dennis do not represent the official position of the NPP on the ongoing debate between Senator Snow and the government of Liberia.
On yesterday, members of the National Patriotic Party were shocked with a statement issued by Mr. Barton Dennis under the authority of Anthony George Mobile, chairman of the National Patriotic Party. That statement is believed to be in the public as an official position of the National Patriotic Party. Let me say this to our partisans across the border of this country and within the border of this country. At no time the National Patriotic Party have ever met either in a room or outside of the perimeter of the party compound to discuss issues surrounding Senator Snow and the government of the Republic of Liberia. We want to say this clear that that statement issue is in the public by Mr. Mobile and Mr. Barton Dennis is completely a diabolical lie and it's not a direct representation of the National Patriotic Party. We, as officials and members of the National Patriotic Party, say in this public manner, we disassociate ourselves from that statement and we call on partisan Mobile and Barton Dennis to withdraw their financial influence statement in support of Burmese Senator Melvin Snow. We also want to request partisan Mobile to ask Senator Snow to write an open complaint on what he termed as government action against him. And once that is done, members of the National Executive Committee will meet in a section, discuss such communication extensively, and make a determination to the public. We want to encourage our partisans not to be deterred of that diabolical lies and financial influence statement issued by Chairman Mobile and Barton Dennis. As partisans of the National Patriotic Party, the NPP remains supportive of the government action. We will work with the government, make a constructive criticism where necessary, make our recommendation where necessary, and to see this country going ahead. Any of our party who in their rightful mind will take the airway and misuse words against the government of the Republic of Liberia, let them speak and defend themselves. They will not use the NPP as a stepping stone to issue statements as counterproductive to the well-being of the citizens and the Republic of Liberia. At this junction, we want to say clearly that the NPP will be a constructive opposition and not a destructive opposition.
Patriotic Party Secretary General Andrew Peters there speaking. The Liberia Council of Churches has been urged to wake up from its slumber and begin speaking on issues of national concern. The Bishop of the Lutheran Church in Liberia, Reverend Dr. Victor Patmore, said in recent times members of the LCC has been very silent on many ills prevailing in the Liberian society.
LCC, you should be aware. And wait to address the ills of society. And wait to tell people the truth that will bring glory and bring peace to God's people. When you guys go say false, you are stupid. When you look at what we go through, then there's where for us. We are being pushed around by kingdom influence. We are being pushed around by our own desires. We are being downtrodden by life situations that is not true, and so much further. That people want to live life to satisfy themselves and not satisfy God. Wake up from the spiritual sleep. Some of us, most of us, our eyes are too open. but we are citizens. We'll be trained to look at the wrong to be right first of the rest. We are really trying to support and make people feel good about themselves, and that is guided in the fact that God is not satisfied with our actions. We need to wake up from that purpose. It refers to competence, moral governance, indifference of things of God. We know the truth. We know what is wrong. We know that we are doing injustice to people. We know that we are not treating people as we ought to treat them. Yet and still, don't even think there's something wrong. Well, we fight among ourselves for things that will not bring glory to God. We are sleeping when we wouldn't think about satisfying ourselves. I, me, and myself. Yes, God. It cannot be me, it can't be nobody else. When we look at the elders of society, most of us flourish. As if we were protecting our job and other things, we foresee our citizenship. But the evil of society, the needs of the country, made them a black.
Bishop Piper made the Caldwell thus during programs marking the opening of the 35th General Assembly of the Liberia Council of Churches in Painesville. Also remarking during the opening of the ceremony, LCC Secretary General Reverend Christopher Toll encouraged members of the council to get on board rather than remain outside in dealing with issues about the council.
We are it is going to go deep and go far the world. All ourselves by the roadside. The fearful of our country is not the glory. We have choices to make on where our need to get great organization, where is our identity. We either stay up and be counted, or lie down and be counted out. We have chosen the first option, and our mission for success will bring us a new life. But our struggle for improvement is to accelerate growth, development, and the same LCC is a honest endeavor and a continuous process. Our struggle will not end. God is a beginning. We must continue to excel as the best and strong group in the coming years. This nation is solemnly declared, but also disciplined. It said, how scrupulous and sincere us have a very historic perspective of life on gold. Drawing the inspiration of our various activities, we can show aspire to counter collectors for greater than what we think we can handle. But by putting our hearts into what we do and leveraging all our strength, we can amplify our energy. Level from
A reminder you listen to King's News, Broom 45 minutes news about Liberia, Africa, and our one world. Stories we following tonight: Liberia's only dialysis center at John F. Kennedy Memorial Hospital stands in rain and possible collapse due to damaged equipment as patients accuse the management of collecting money without administering treatment. Vice President Jeremiah Cohn says government is committed to protecting all opposition politicians and uphold free speech, assures Broom County Senator Eden Snow and his family of a guaranteed security. Ministry of Health announces discharge of 4 mpox patients following intensive treatment at National Infectious Disease Center in Monrovia. Away from home, Elon Musk has criticized one of the signature policies of Donald Trump, marking a break from the U.S. president who he helped to win re-election in 2024. Thousands of Palestinians have overrun an aid distribution site in Gaza set up by controversial Jews and Israeli-backed group a day after it began working there. We'll take a break to be right back with more voices. welcome back and thanks for being there. The president of the West African Postgraduate College of Nurses and Midwives has appealed to government in the West African region to assist the institution in constructing its headquarters in Abuja, Nigeria. The college's president, Dr. Sali Gamba, disclosed that the college has purchased a portion of land in Abuja and needs to assist or need assistance since international funding has reduced drastically. Dr. Gabat made the appeal when he delivered his message at the second day of the 18th Banua gathering of the West African Postgraduate College of Nurses and Midwives taking place in Congo Town.
During this PGM, fellows of the college will discuss ways of sustaining the provision of quality healthcare services, including those funded by the partners who are gradually withdrawing from the region. We shall continue to provide quality healthcare services to the teeming population of the region in the best way we can, despite increasing challenges that include increased migration of nurses and midwives from the region to other parts of the world, inadequate funding of healthcare, poor remuneration, as well as lack of equipment in the clinical areas. Despite making huge contributions in the training of key health workforce, the college is faced with numerous challenges, including lack of recognition of the college certificate for appointment, placement, and remuneration in many member countries, lack of permanent college building in Abuja, as well as poor finances for healthcare programs in the region. The college has just purchased a plot of land in Abuja, Nigeria, from monies contributed by fellows. It is hoped that countries in the region, as well as partners, will support the college by consulting the college secretariat so as to facilitate its presence in Abuja, as well as to enhance the basic function of training the necessary nurses and military workforce in the region. Similarly, we are pleading with the various governments in the region to, as a matter of urgency, recognize and accept the fellowship certificates for appointments, placement, and remuneration. We are also calling on government, individuals, and organizations to support the college financially and otherwise so as to improve its healthcare services program in the region. To enhance the training of skilled nurse and midwifery personnel for the increasingly dynamic healthcare system, the college has just concluded a review of the fellowship training curriculum and modules. This is aimed at making the training more self-specialty specific so that fellows will also be more involved in the provision of advanced care, training, and supervision of other healthcare personnel.
On Tuesday, Liberia officially announced the closure of its campaign for a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council for 2026-2027 term. Speaking during the ceremony, the Senate chaired on Foreign Affairs, Senator Abraham Darius DeLon described the moment as a call for national unity. He emphasized that the election of Liberia on the UN Security Council will further strengthen the country's fight for the advocacy of peace and democratic principles.
Your Excellencies, it is with profound gratitude that we are here as a government to express to you our appreciation for your support of Liberia as a member of the Security Council. Liberia being a founding member of the Security Council, a record or history we cherish. Liberia is also a beneficiary of the decision and actions of the United Nations and the Security Council that help to restore peace and stability to our country. And it is with this background and it is with this mindset and determination that we are seeking to occupy a seat and be elected so that Liberia, using our history and our experience to fight for global peace, stability, and justice around the world, to ensure that we have a peaceful world where human beings, our fellow human beings, without discrimination, can live in peace, enjoy the peace of this world, enjoy opportunities, equal opportunities without discrimination. We want to say thank you to the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Liberia recognize and appreciate the effort and support of the President of Liberia toward this effort. And we've come here today to commit the Liberian legislature to this effort, wherein all efforts and decisions of the United Nations, resolutions or whatever that needs ratification and support of Liberia, you have our support. I want to thank you and God bless you.
At the same time, Grand Bassa County Senator Wenzoga Feli has appealed to Burundi to support Liberia's candidacy for a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council.
Your Excellencies, it is with profound gratitude that we are here as a government to express to you our appreciation for your support of Liberia as a member
Senator Ambassador Milton Finlay, a former foreign minister of Liberia, was sent by directive of the president of the Republic of Liberia with a special message to his brother. And in that message, Liberia is seeking a seat for the non-permanent position of the Security Council, the United Nations Security Council. And so we are seeking the support of the Republic of Burundi. And that is the message that we brought to request for the kind support of the people of Burundi, Liberia on the Security Council seat. Well, the president have consented to give his brother the support and the people of Liberia the support. You know, we and Liberia and Burundi share a common history of civil crisis, and it will be good for us to serve on that council. So we come with our experience, we come with the issues of civil division in our country, and both countries have made tremendous progress in terms of unity, reconciliation. So it will be good for Liberia to be there, and hopefully in the future we look for Liberia to support Burundi in the future for the Security Council.
Away from Liberia, Elon Musk has criticized one of the signature policies of Donald Trump, marking a break from the U.S. president who he helped to win re-election in 2024. Last week, the U.S. House of Representatives narrowly passed what Trump calls his Big Beautiful Bill, which includes multi-trillion-dollar tax breaks and a pledge to increase defense spending. It will now head to the Senate. Musk has enlisted as Trump's cutting and fundings for U.S. foreign aid, among other projects, before announcing he will step back. And thousands of Palestinians have overrun an aid distribution site in Gaza set up by a controversial U.S. and Israeli-backed group a day after it began working there. Videos show crowds walking over torn-down fence and earth bins at Gaza Humanitarian Foundation compound in the southern city of Rafah. The group said that at one point its team fell back because the members seeking aid were so great. On that note, that's how we come to the near end of this edition of King's News Broom. But before we leave, a quick reminder of stories we followed in the headlines. Liberia's only dialysis center at John F. Kennedy Memorial Hospital stands in rain and possible collapse due to damaged equipment, as patients accuse the management of collecting money without administering treatment. Vice President Jeremiah Cohn says government is committed to protecting our opposition politicians and uphold free speech, assures Broom County Senator Adam Snow and his family of the guaranteed security. You also heard in the news, Ministry of Health announces discharge of 4 mpox patients following intensive treatment at National Infectious Disease Center in Monrovia. Away from home, Elon Musk has criticized one of the signature policies of Donald Trump, marking a break from the U.S. president who he helped to win re-election in 2024. Thousands of Palestinians have overrun an aid distribution site in Gaza, set up by a controversial U.S. and Israeli-backed group the day after it began working there. Many thanks to our reporters, correspondents, and all those who helped in making this edition of King's News Broom a success. Sam Andrews brought you the news bulletin. On behalf of the team, I'm Shemon Dale, our presenter. Thanks for listening and watching.